organizations. First, Mr. Ronald Johnson. Mr. Ronald Johnson is the president and CEO of an organization called Choices and the Effects. Of course, with Mr. Johnson is Mr. Kelvin Walker. Mr. Walker is a board member of an organization called the New Beginnings organization, which is located in the River Bend Maximum Security Institution. And of course, let me welcome you, Mr. Johnson, as well as Mr. Walker, to the show this morning. To talk about what I consider to be a very, very important question, and that is the fact of the incarceration of African-American youth. I think almost in any statistic that you see, you'll find that they represent a very, very large number. But before we get into that, Mr. Johnson, let's have you and Mr. Walker to give us some information about your background and your education and some of the things that really qualify you to be able to deal with the issue that we're dealing with this morning. Let's start with you, Mr. Johnson, and of course we'll follow that with Mr. Walker.
Yes, I'm Mr. Ronald Johnson. I am the founder and CEO of Choices and the Effects. I'm a graduate of Tennessee State University. I started there in 1982. I played football, and from playing football, I made some choices. Through those choices, this is where this program was developed from. I also am the son of Clara and Herman Johnson. We have 10 boys, no girls. I just thank God that I am here, and I thank God for Choices and the Effects, because that's what life is all about, choices.
Very good. And of course, about your background, Mr. Walker.
Oh, my name is Kelvin Walker. I'm the pastor of the Hands of God Christian Outreach Ministries. We're a church located in South Nashville area. As far as educational background, I attended school for a while at Tennessee State University back in 1975, and at that time I got involved in drugs. I got addicted to drugs. I became a heroin addict at that time, and that spanned, took me through about 17 years of drug addiction. And as a result of my drug addiction, I ended up incarcerated in the state prison system for a period of 5 years of my life. And currently, right now, like I say, I'm pastoring a church. I'm involved in some things as far as work-related stuff is concerned. Part-time instructor with the Metropolitan General Sessions Court Safety Center. I do that and some DUI stuff, but I'm also involved with this prison group called New Beginnings out there at River Bend Maximum Security Prison. Got involved with them a few months ago, and we're moving forward in that direction now. And my passion now is to reach out, you know, and to help people that are experiencing some of the same type of things that I have experienced myself in life. And that's where I am now today in my life, and that's the direction that I'm moving in right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to come on the program to share some of the information that I do have about New Beginnings.
You know, let's talk about, since the title of this show is African American Youth and Incarceration, Mr. Johnson, let's start off by talking about some of the issues dealing with the incarceration of African American youth. From your point of view and from the point of view of the information that you have available, let's talk about it from that perspective.
Well, I think what we have is a number of youth making choices that they haven't had instructions from. We all have a choice in everything that we do. There's no such thing as I don't have a choice. This program that I have is something that will give the youth a chance to disciple or evaluate or process information before they make choices. And hopefully something that they hear will be something that they will apply to their life. I think our youth today is a high percentage in the prison system, both federal and state. I'm one who spent time in the federal system, so there's not many youth in the federal system. But I think if we can stimulate the thoughts of our youth on making better choices, we can make a difference.
So there is a difference in terms of the incarceration of African American youth in the two systems, the federal system as over against the state system. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, it is. In the federal system, you usually won't have a youth in the federal system if they're not past the age of 18. That still would be considered a youth, but 18 in the federal system is an adult, and you have what they call a mandatory minimum of 5 years in the federal system, which you would do 85% of that in the federal system.
And so there's a maximum of time that you can spend there as a young person, then you move into another system. Is that what we're saying?
Well, for most cases, it depends on the case. Our youth today, a lot of them are in there for crack cocaine, and crack cocaine carries a violent crime in a sense, and some of them go to the big prison before they would come to a camp, and then some come straight to a camp. Experiencing the camp life is a little bit easier than experiencing the big place. They call it the big house.
What do you mean the camp? The camp?
The federal prison camp is a place where you don't have any